The first 2 episodes of Hawkeye are out now, so of course we have to talk about them. It's been one of my most anticipated shows since they announced that Echo would be in it a while ago, and my hype went up even more when Kingpin was basically confirmed to be in it. Hawkeye is notorious for being kinda disrespected in the MCU. I mean, he never had a character arc that I would really call good, and he's sort of a disappointment compared to his comic counterpart. This show is an opportunity for them to actually make him a good character in the MCU instead of that side hero that occasionally does cool trick shots. The show started with a scene from the Battle of New York back in 2012. Kate almost gets dropped off by Chitauri, but Hawkeye saves her. This, of course, led to Kate looking up to the Avenger for the rest of her childhood. A simple and straightforward backstory, to be honest, and it didn't take long to get through, which I liked. Another big thing early on was Clint's mental issues caused by the traumatic events he went through in his past. He can barely stand to look at people dressed up as Natasha, which is completely understandable. I definitely wouldn't be able to constantly look at images of my best friend who I watched sacrifice herself for me. It takes a toll on someone mentally. If I had to compare Clint to someone, it would be a tired war veteran, which he actually kind of is. He's damaged, both mentally and physically. PTSD from the death of his friends and all the deaths he's seen. Then there's the loss of his hearing from all those years out in the field. It's hard being a normal human in a world full of explosions, sonic booms, and gods blowing things up left and right. Speaking of hearing loss, I'm glad Deaf Clint was brought to the MCU. With him being hard of hearing now, the MCU gained 3 new characters that have hearing loss since November 5th. In a little over 3 weeks, there's been a massive step forward in the representation of people that are hard of hearing, and that's very important for the people of that community. I feel like we've talked about Clint a lot, so let's switch gears and talk about Kate now. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big Kate Bishop fan when it comes to the comics. Not because I dislike her, but because I've only read a few of her comics here or there. I was hoping the show would make me more of a fan of her, and so far, I like her. One of the most interesting things about the story so far has been her dynamic with her family and also how it contrasts with Clint's family. While Kate has always loved her mom, it's clear that she's changed after the death of her husband. The arrival of this Jack man complicates things even more. He's a wealthy man, but also very untrustworthy. Meanwhile, on the other hand, you have a family that's perfect in almost every way. They all love each other and enjoy each other's company. They laugh, play, have fun, and their lives are just overall more positive than Kate's family. There's a reason Clint wants to rush back to his family so bad for Christmas. The tense scenes and mysterious aura of the show was a big reason why I enjoyed most of the first 2 episodes. You're often wondering what's going on, but in a good way. It's obvious that they're intentionally building up the mystery of Armand, Jack, and the overall criminal scheme here. It's definitely all leading up to some huge twist, and I'm expecting the unexpected. We're being led to believe that Jack is behind the murder of Armand and possibly some other criminal plan, but the fact that we're supposed to suspect him makes me feel like it isn't him. Either that or there's something else going on, possibly involving a familiar crime lord that resides in New York City. Speaking of Kingpin, Echo showed up for the first time at the end of episode 2, and boy am I excited for her. She's one of my favorite female Marvel characters and by far one of the most interesting too. Her unique powers and backstory, her Native American heritage and how it ties into her character, and her relationship with Daredevil all come together to form one of Marvel's most underrated characters overall. I'll make a video explaining exactly who she is soon. Her show is going to be fantastic, and it's already being teased as basically Daredevil Season 4, which means it's going to be incredible. The action was pretty solid, nothing close to top tier, but to be honest, it wasn't bad at all. I like the fact that Kate didn't run through the tracksuit mafia easily just because she has combat training. No matter how much training you have, you're likely going to struggle your first few real fights. That's why Kate was forced to improvise multiple times throughout each of her fights with the gang. One problem I had with the first 2 episodes, well, mainly the second episode, is how slow it was. At some points, I was forcing myself through it, mainly with the LARP thing. That part of the episode went on for so long, and by the time I was halfway through it, all I could keep thinking was, is this really necessary? It kind of felt like they needed something to fill in time so that they could end episode 2 with Echo being shown. There weren't any other issues I really had, although it's obviously too early to say the show was great just because of that. For now, I'm definitely having a good time watching this for the most part. With the reports that Kingpin is coming towards the end of the show, we also probably have a lot to look forward to. It's gonna be a good December. Let me know how you felt about the first 2 episodes in the comments. I'm interested to know what you guys think about the show so far. Make sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Let me know what other videos you guys would want to see. Echo videos coming soon, so be ready for that. Until then, see you next time.